Well, hello, welcome to the show. I'm Joe Hyde, the publisher of San Angelo Live. I'm joined here from Angelo State University, Dr. Micheal Salisbury, who is the dean of a lot of things right now. But just give a little synopsis of your life story as a guy in academia.
Sure. Actually, I started as a professor in the Department of Agriculture and then progressed through as the department chair for a few years and then served in the role of the dean of the College of Graduate Studies and Research for 3 years and was asked to be the interim of the freshman college. I moved over and took that as a permanent 3 years ago. And then now I'm serving as the interim dean of the College of Arts and Humanities as our former dean took a job elsewhere. So as part of that, that's why we're here today.
Right. And so the Department of Arts and Humanities has a speaker series.
Correct.
And this is interesting because Angelo State University obviously is in a smaller metro area. It's not like University of Texas in the middle of Austin or the promised land,
right.
Texas A&M, where other people get ag degrees. But I'm an Aggie, so I have to say that. Smaller area, but we're getting some really notable people into the speaker series.
Absolutely, we do. It's a series sponsored by the E. James Holland and Roy Harrell Foundation, to where they sponsor a foreign affairs speaker once a year that we bring in, open it to the public. But the most important part is to make it an exposure to the students to visit with people who have made a career in foreign affairs. They get a chance to ask questions of somebody who's kind of lived the life a little bit. And so as part of this person's role when they come to campuses, is we're going to spend some time in some classes, typically political science, or we end up with sometimes over in security studies, criminal justice.
Right.
Unfortunately, most of those are online programs, but they do often get to meet in some of those. And then we'll also have occasionally some history courses, and then we have them spend some direct time with our honors program and spend a little one-on-one time with them as well. Just to kind of go through a list of some of the previous speakers. We had one last year, Feltman, who was the ambassador to Africa, a special assistant in Africa. We've had Ambassador Napier. We've had Jonathan Porter, who came in. We had the Earl Anthony Wayne. He's a former ambassador to Mexico and Argentina. And this program's been going. The very first one to go back to it was in 2003. And we've had one every year except the COVID year.
Right, because no one could go there with their mask. Even with a mask on, they couldn't go. Anyway, so this speaker that's coming up, the big topic right now obviously is Trump. Right. And Trump is, breaking things and making, and it's kind of interesting to watch. You can't even keep up with it. Every day, maybe 3 times a day, something breaks up there. And one of the things that's probably on the menu to be broken is the Ukraine war with Russia.
Probably.
He spoke about it on the campaign trail and stuff like that. But you have a guy coming who's an expert on the Ukraine. I want to say the Ukraine. It's Ukraine, not the Ukraine.
That's right. I catch myself doing that as well. Yes, it's Ambassador William B. Taylor. He was the ambassador to Ukraine from 2006 to 2009, and then he actually served in Kiev as in the charge d'affaires role. They're in the embassy. And so he has a lot of experience in those 2 areas, but he's also spent time as ambassadors or working in several others. And another area of his topic that can probably come up during this is the Middle East. He spent some time in Baghdad as a diplomat there. And so he's coming in to speak to students, and his topic is an update on the Russia-Ukraine conflict.
Right.
He currently serves, or he just finished up his term as the president of a peace organization that works with them, that works with that whole idea as well. And so he's going to give us some updates on where it is, how it's going to play in politically. We just had a change in our political environment in Washington, so he's going to talk about how he sees things playing there and kind of where it could lead to from that, and how it's going to impact the U.S.
Which is, it's very timely because now is the time for people to be informed about, what are the consequences of some decisions that will be made. There's going to be consequences no matter which way we go. Negotiated peace, allow Russia to keep the Donbass, those kinds of things have been, those are on the surface. But below the surface, there's things like, it's a lot of farmland there.
Yes.
Right? It's the breadbasket of Europe. There's probably rare earth metals. I think Trump said something about, I want to make sure the United States gets all the rare earth metals out of there. And then there's other questions about, illegalities, like, you have the Tucker Carlson interview with Putin, where they kind of brushed over it, but they kind of talked about biolabs in Ukraine. So there's a lot of interesting twists and turns that can go there. So this is more of a educational thing to find out where those things are.
Yes, absolutely. And I think probably one of the coolest parts too is this is a series that's open to the public. It's not just ASU. So next Wednesday on the 12th at 6, he'll have a chance, and we send a special invite out to our partners at Goodfellow. We have a lot of Russian linguists and stuff out there that have some interest in it. So we're hoping we have some, because that conflict over there is going to have trickle down into all areas of our branches of our armed forces. So I think there's some interest there. And then I've had a lot of interest when I sent out some information to all students, students that are not local, but really have some interest and want to, especially in security
When you
studies.
say not local, international students?
Some that are students that are on their programs are 100% online.
Oh, I see.
So they may live in the Metroplex. Some of them may live out of state. We have a lot of students who are actually deployed elsewhere that are still participating in class and doing that. Our security studies program is fully online. And so they've reached out wanting to figure out if they can watch this live streaming. It's not going to be live streamed, but RAM TV is recording it, and so it will be uploaded eventually after they go through and do what they need to our YouTube channel, to where we can push that out, and our remote students will be able to see it as well.
But if you're there live, there's probably a quick Q&A. You can ask questions
Yes.
and things like that. It'd be more interactive toward the end of the presentation.
Yeah, we've asked him to kind of go through and talk about, giving him roughly an hour to go through what he needs to, and then we have the facility for as long as we need it for Q&A with him.
So it's Wednesday.
Yes,
And
February
where-
12th at the University Center at the C.J. Davidson Conference Center,
And
the big
so
room.
The big room. So to get there, that's the big parking lot in the middle of campus.
That's right. That's
right
the
behind the library.
Go in the big rotunda type opening with glass rotunda, and it's right there. Is where it'll be.
And I get, what's it? Dina. It's right off of Dina Drive.
Correct.
Is it right? Okay. So Dina Drive is the drive that doesn't go all the way through anymore, but you can find it. But anyway, Doctor, thank you for coming in. And
Appreciate
what are you going to take over next? That's the question. So you have arts and humanities, and what else?
I've got freshman college.
Freshman college,
That's all I'm responsible for right now. But I do work with some other areas with athletics.
maybe engineering, or
Well, no.
what about the rodeo? What about the rodeo team? You have.
I work with Casey Sisk a bit on that as well, because we do work with all the incoming students.
How is the rodeo team doing?
Going quite well, very well. He's got, I believe, roughly 30 students that are practicing now. We've had some that participated this last season in the National College Rodeo Finals, and they've done quite well there. So I anticipate a lot of good things out of Casey.
Good deal. Well, Doctor, thank you for coming on our show today.
I appreciate it.
Don't miss the Ukraine presentation on Wednesday, February 12th.
Correct.
7:30?
At 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Back to you guys.